Let's go straight across to Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri. Mr. Puri, thank you very much for speaking to me. You, of course, hold an important economic portfolio in your own right. But a quick conversation with you on the budget, the seventh by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, a record in itself, actually, emphasizing continuity. But how is this budget different from those presented by 10 NDA governments before this one?
Well, I think the difference, both in terms of the continuity and change, will come if you do the context setting for this budget. I mean, after holding office for 10 years, the Prime Minister's Finance Minister presented an interim budget in the beginning of February this year, and this budget presented today should be seen in that context as a continuum of that interim budget. It is very significant in the sense that the emphasis here, contrary to expectation, I mean, I saw a lot of comment, and I see still the comment, people say, well, you know, this is a time to reach out and please section X, Y, and Z. Now, if you have that kind of a mindset where you want to use freebies and populism as a instrument for governance, then you are in a different. But the Modi government has been anything but that. After the 10 years when it has been able to navigate the economy from the fragile 5 to from the 10th to the 5th position, and the IMF says now maybe 2027 will be the third largest economy in the world, and then moving onwards to 2047. So this can only be done provided you are responsible, and that fiscal consolidation which you undertake unleashes the productive forces. So which I look at today, I was very happy to see 3 lakh crore for women-led development. Rahulji, you know, we've come from women-centered development to women-led development through the Women's Reservation Bill. 2,66,000 crore on rural development. Then for youth, 4.1 crore jobs over a 5-year period, 1 crore youngsters getting internships in 500 of the top companies, Mudra loan being doubled from 10 lakhs max to 20 lakhs. When you see all these things happening, also digital inclusion, what's happening on the ENP side, I can give you Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana from the 4 crores that we built, another 3 crore, including 1 crore for the urban sector. If you look at the totality, there is something in this for everyone, particularly our younger people, the youth, the kisan, the poor, and our other women. So this is a fiscal consolidation, responsible budget, which has already, I think, set the task to move from here to the Viksit Bharat. This is the first stage after 10 years of Modi government to lift it forward. You've grown at 8%. Coming time, you'll grow at 7.5% or so. And you have to navigate a particularly difficult global situation. I'm not only talking about geopolitical tensions, Rahulji, I'm also talking about, you know, the fact that parts of the global economy, many parts of Europe, are either flirting with recession or are in recession. You've got political uncertainties in terms of some of these governments, whether they will come back or not in Europe. That's a different discussion. But India must hold firm and be solid on its own economic development strategy. And that's what this budget prepares us for.
Okay, so let me ask you, because the big concern, and you know, some people have viewed the election results through the filter of the lack of jobs in the economy and a certain degree of distress. Now, how does this budget address this challenge? Because even if you looked at the context, so to speak, the context tells us that employment is an issue in the backdrop. Even when Nirmala Sitharaman ji today was addressing the press conference, Mr. Puri, the word employment was written right behind her. So how does this budget do that?
I think, Rahul, you've that it's vintage, Rahul. First of all, the election result, I have a slightly different take on it. I saw a picture of the G7 leadership gathered, and I looked at each one of them, and I thought to myself, which one of them whether it's Joe Biden or Macron or Sunak, can come back. And there was Narendra Bhai Damodar Das Modi ji, the Prime Minister of India, and I said, this guy is coming back for sure. All right, what about the others? I mean, after a devastating 2 years of COVID, a once-in-a-century pandemic, for any party to come back for a third term with a pre-poll alliance of 292, it means we must have done something right. Now, if we didn't get the 400 or the self-created hype that we inflicted on ourselves, well, I don't know. I don't want to go into that politics. But today the fact is you're back for a third term with safe numbers. Throughout the world, Rahul, there has been a certain concern that even where economic growth takes place, and it's not taking place equally everywhere, there also the economic growth takes place because there is a growth in the services sector, in technology, so that joblessness is a characteristic. Because, if you go into high technology or even normal technology, you're not creating brick and mortar jobs. Whereas India, at the level of development it finds itself in, it has to also deal with those issues. So maybe, as I said, I'm very proud of the figures that the RBI has put out, the others have put out, on how many people have come into the EPF reckoning, how many jobs we've created. But yes, if there is a lag, let us utilize these 5 years, and this budget frontally addresses that, Rahul. The fact that you're going to be dealing with 4.1 crore jobs you have to create in 5 years, the fact that you're sending 1 crore of our youngsters for internships to the top 500 companies, yes, that focus is well deserved. And if more needs to be done, I'm sure that those who are responsible for the navigation of the economy will address that as well.
So let's look at this first-time assistance of 6,000 rupees and some of the other so-called DBT payouts to the first-timers. Now, some people, and I've been reading a little bit of commentary on this, say this is a shortcut, a DBT fashioned on a Congress blueprint that was mentioned in their sort of Nyaya Patra or whatever, will not solve the problem at a fundamental level. How do you respond to all your political detractors today?
I am very proud of the political detractors. And, I'm one of those, and I think I'm on record of having said it to you. We need a good political opposition. We need them to throw valid criticism at us, and where the criticism is deserved, we must be humble and we acknowledge it. First of all, where does it say that two intelligent people can't have the same idea? And where does it say that you are the linear progenitor of this idea? I've had this idea of internship seen in 101 other places. I myself have advocated it in my own life. I said, get a lot of interns on. And because the interns, if you get an intern working with a good corporate manager or a good civil servant, I'm very clear. The first lesson I learned is I was very lucky, Lakshmi and me, to have an outstanding ambassador in Tokyo when we went on our first posting. So internship for 1 year, when you pay a stipend of 5,000 and a overall payment, and then the company can adjust it in CSR. Who is talking about this? Which idea? You take a little bit of it and say, this was in my manifesto, page so-and-so. I'm very happy that you think your manifesto has contributed to this. If it's a good idea, very, very, very good. We also had the idea, you also had the idea. But today, youth, and especially the demographic dividend we've got, Rahul, skilling with a view to producing productive class, this is our solution to a Viksit Bharat. And I'm glad this budget attempts that frontally.